I can't think of it, but it won the watermelon thump in Luling years ago. There were two. Neither one of them were big melons. They were 15 to 20 pounds at the most. But it's exactly what Whole Foods wanted. And I grew garlic. An old man gave me a big pot of garlic, about that big around. And I planted it in a flower bed, broke all the clothes up. And I made one of them that was 7 inches across.
Wow.
And I gave it to the lady and the man that owned the organic food store in the U.S., Gainesville in California. I gave that to them.
Oh, cool.
But I kept seeding. And I kept seeding until I had enough garlic. I put in a whole patch like this of garlic. Boy, it was beautiful. And that elephant garlic, you have to dig it as soon as it blooms, because if you leave it in the ground much longer than that, it starts to rot.
Okay.
So this stuff is about this tall. I mean, it was way above my waist in blooming. And I made me some special diggers, because that bulb will be this far on the ground. It'll be 7, 8 inches on the ground, although you only plant the clover about 3 inches on the ground. For some reason, it goes down to make a bulb. So it's being moisture, I guess. Well, when it's time to dig, it came a hard shower, and then the sun came out, and I went out there and I tried to plow, but the ground was so slick I couldn't get any traction. So I said I have to wait till the ground dries off. Well, it rained and rained and rained, lost it all.
Oh.
Every bit, seed and all. I had to dig around everywhere and try to find some little button to start over. Whole Foods wanted every clove, $2 a pound. I could have done real good. That happened to me several times, but the weather took my crop out of it. The same thing with tomatoes. I had a boy came down here from Maryland. He worked on a tomato farm. He was a hippie. Wore white clothes, smoked pot, stuff like that. But he cleaned himself up when he come to work for me. He went through that, see? And he kept saying, we need to plant the supersonic tomato. I said, it's a Yankee tomato. He said, get some seeds. Let me buy some seeds. Oh, here's some money, order some damn seeds. So I planted that supersonic. Meanwhile, the Extension Service discovered one called Spring Giant. Well, out at Burston's Farm, south of town, nothing could beat it. Boy, that tomato plant just turned to tomatoes, every tomato perfect. Well, I tried the Spring Giant on my place, and it was worthless. It got Texas blight right away. Made no tomatoes. But that supersonic was perfect. Beat anything I ever had. So Sam Cotner took my Spring Giant south of town. It wouldn't grow. Strange. Highway 90 was the dividing line. South of Highway 90, you had to plant the Spring Giant. North of Highway 90, you planted my supersonic. Real strange. Just a little difference in environment like that. Why, I don't know. Maybe the mentality of the people give off a better vibration.
Better karma on one side.
So anyway, you know, a lot of people don't know that green bell peppers are turning red if you let them on the bush. People come out to me and ask, where can I buy red bell pepper plants?
Just leave them?
Just leave them on the bush. That's the reason I made that picture. And anyway, I finally ended up in the compost business. A whole lot easier, quicker money than growing vegetables. And here is sawdust, and that is horse stable bedding. That's paunch manure from a slaughterhouse. This is old compost back here, and this is onion and jalapenos from paste to compost sauce. So I was getting waste from all over town, and I got in the compost business in a big way. Biggest compost in the state at one time. Anyway, we used a lot of the compost on our farm, and pretty soon I had carrots this big. Well, way back then, the natural food people were pretty strong. And somebody wrote an article that said if you was to drink carrot juice, organically grown carrot juice, you'd live longer, you'd be prettier and sexier and everything else. Well, there was a carrot juice fad. Some people were drinking so much carrot juice it's turning yellow.
Whoa.
Really. So I took some of my carrot juice, some of my carrots to that natural food store on South Alamo. And they were pretty, you can see how pretty they are. And the guy juiced them, he said, no, Malcolm, he said, those California carrots got better taste than yours. So I kept working with the farm, compost, cover crops, rock phosphate. Next year I took him carrots. He said they're better, but still not quite as good as the California carrots. The third year I took him carrots from rotating and building salt. He said, your carrot is just as good as we can get out of California.
All right.
But the fourth year I took him carrot, he said, that is the best carrot we've ever had. He said, that beats the California carrot. But what I learned from that, just because I had all these cover crops and all that compost and put in the rock powders. That don't mean you're there yet. It takes nature time to get everything balanced out. And it took 4 years. So don't give up. That's the moral of that story. And there's pickup load of vegetables. Took that pickup load of vegetables to Waite's Model Market north of San Antonio in Alamo Heights, Pearl Hills area,
Right.
where the rich live. And I found this guy, and I told him I had some organically grown vegetables. I wanted to show him. He said, "Fella, I've seen organic stuff. It's full of weevils, bug bugs, and everything." Then turned around, walked off. The guy wouldn't even talk to me. So went home, told my wife that, and she said, "I'll go in there." But she cheated. She prettied herself up. She found this guy, and he told her the same thing, and she put her hands on her hip and said, "Well, won't you at least come look at it?" He went out there, he said, "Lady, that's beautiful. What do you want for it?" She said, "Let's bargain." And she made a deal with him. He'd give us top market price. That's all he had to give us. Whatever was the top market price at the produce terminal. George Waits grew vegetables at one time. He knew the terminal. He knew who to buy from over. See, he knew vegetables. Well, he agreed, top market price, cash every delivery, and container he wanted, packaged in. We had a good deal. I mean, we'd still be farming if he'd have kept the store, but he sold out and retired. And that ended it. And you can make compost out of anything. People always say, "What's the best thing to make compost out of?" I said, "Whatever you got, as long as it was alive."
Right.
I'll make it do it. That's pure prickly pear. Made good compost.
Yeah.
Pure prickly. That's nice. It's not, some of it's not quite rotted yet, some of the outer shell. And the thorns are still a little sharp. It needed 2 more turnings and some more water. That was way up northwest where there's very little water. And he didn't put any extra water on it, it would have been beautiful black compost. You can see the dry environment, small mesquites and huge mesquites. And that's over in East Texas. I was invited over in East Texas to a broiler operation. And this guy had 4 or 5 big houses that he raised those broilers in. And he had mortality, you know, where they grow those things, so on medicine and everything. And he was digging pits and burying them, and the health department or water district said, "Man, don't do that. You're going to mess up our water, because that's sand." So he had to find another way. So somehow he got in contact with me. I went up there, and I said, "Well, tell you what you do." I said, "You do clean them brooder houses out once in a while." I said, "Yeah, we do when they get too full." I said, "Well, just put it on a pile, moisten it, and keep blending your dead chickens into it."
Okay.
So I went to see him about 2 years later. I said, "How's it working?" He said, "Oh, Malcolm, it works beautiful." He says, "You don't got to blend them in." He says, "Hell, I just throw them on a pile. In 2 days, they're gone."
Wow.
Look at that. He said in 2 days, they're going to be gone. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't stay there to watch it. But they wouldn't hardly no smell of no flies. I tell you what, you wouldn't want to stick your hand in that pile.
It would burn you?
I don't know. You'd draw back. You'd draw back bones.
Half gone.
Oh, I don't think it'd be that bad. But that's all he did. He just threw the chickens on it. Once in a while, they'd take front end loader and kind of mix it up. Yeah, he didn't bother about cutting. They were out of it. And there's a, you know, that home compost pile belongs to a general, retired general. So you got to make a fancy one,
Right.
which is nice. See, this pile he's using now he's going to turn that one into this one and build a new one here. And then then he'll turn this one here and see, keep going like that. 3
Okay.
bins. It works out. It's nice. It's pretty for his backyard. This is what I recommend you. Just get some of that wire like that. There's better ways to put it together, and just turn it if you want to, and put all your grass clippings and your leaves in it, kitchen stuff. And you can turn it, you can make that thing as big as you want it. Now I've got black plastic coated wire so you don't see it. You look through the wire. It makes it look nicer. And I pin them together different, just with some plastic ties instead of doing all that problem with that metal on it and everything. Anyway, there's one of the black plastic ties, so you don't see nothing there.
Barely, yeah. You can barely see it.
Yeah. You just see compost. And there's another view of our compost operation. It grew and it grew and it grew, and I got so big I had to open one on I-10 and sold one on I-10 to partners, then I sold out everything. And this is all I do. I'm a consultant to all of them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but, the company pays me if I come around and visit somebody, I'll make a custom